The announcement came. We all expected it. And to be fair, former President Donald Trump has been hinting at running again for more than a year. Well, it is official. 45 hopes to make it 47, but can he? You know, Trump has had great success. He's got a strong base of support, but he's no longer the only big man on the Republican campus. There are a number of other candidates, potentially, including the most successful Republican this go-around, Kevin, and that's obviously Florida Governor Ron DeSantis.
Yeah, it's really, really interesting, Tom. We live in such a different world because of social media. You get this instant feedback on everything. And last night, as Donald Trump was making his announcement, I was flipping through Twitter, and there were at least 10 different trending topics at the same time on Donald Trump, from fans sounding off in Trump 2024 to detractors sounding off in Humpty Trumpty. It's so wild that you can get response to every little thing. People were saying the people in the chairs were actors. They were saying that people were saying that they were making a big deal out of the fact that it wasn't on ABC, NBC, or CBS. That CNN pulled out of it after, I don't know what it was, 40 minutes. That even Fox News pulled out. I mean, everybody commenting on every
Nobody triggers people
bit.
More than Donald Trump.
It's really, really interesting. It's fascinating to watch. I felt like Donald Trump had the right tone and the right place for that announcement last night. This was an official announcement. He had friendlies in the crowd. He was not looking like he was at one of these fan rallies he has, out in the cornfield. He was telling his story, and he was explaining that he was running again. Yet lots of people on the internet felt that he was boring.
It's like, but he wasn't calling a bunch of people a bunch of names, that kind of thing. It was the more subdued Donald Trump who was very serious, and even mentioned, listen, I don't say this with a smile or a laugh. I say this with tears that our country is hurting right now. And for Donald Trump to say that was different. That was a different tone than what he's characterized as having.
I thought it was a good tone. Joining us now is Roshini Rajkumar, political strategist. Good morning, Roshini. How are you?
Lots to dig into here, guys.
Yes. So go ahead and give us your impression as you watch this 90-minute announcement.
Yeah, well, there was still a part of me hoping he was going to say something else, even up until last night. But pretty much all the predictions came through. True, he's running again. We're going to have this whole, circus atmosphere once again. Now, there are a couple of things. You were mentioning the back and forth on social, and as well as the traditional media covering. I mean, look, I'm on with you this morning talking about this. So there really isn't another person on the planet, especially now that Queen Elizabeth is dead, that gets as much media and real people and regular people coverage, as well as vitriol, as Donald Trump. I mean, it is really crazy. So what that says to me is he has relevance still. Now, the question for 2024 is, will that help him to actually win election? Now, things are looking dimmer and slimmer on his actual ability to win. And that's what I don't think he made the right calculus going into as he was planning this announcement and thinking about whether he even really has a chance. We are of much different landscape compared with the 2015-2016 cycle, compared with the 2019-2020 election cycle. So he has a lot of things going against him. We also have both parties really needing to look inside and ask themselves, do we want the old guard, or do we want to start investing in our future? Think about succession planning. Like I talk about with my executive leaders, succession planning at every corporation is happening all the time. Neither party has done a good job of it, especially if President Biden goes for another run. Both parties then are sort of really looking at strangeness, right? The Republicans have an opportunity here, though. Even though Trump has said, I'm running in 2024, most of the Republicans don't have to back him. They could really try to bring out some of their other stars and groom them and really put them in contention, because a strong Republican would absolutely win over a weak and, I'm sorry to say, but old President Biden.
Let's talk about the timing of the announcement. Some people said he should have waited until after Georgia had their Senate runoff. But others say Donald Trump needed to get started now. If he had waited and someone else got out in front of him, he might never have a chance.
Yeah, I think the timing was just fine. I mean, he pushed it a day later than was originally talked about. I think if Georgia, doesn't go his way, then that's another bad thing for him. So he needed to get it out and make his announcement in his own way, in his own time, as well as be the first Republican to say, okay, I'm going to do this. So the timing of it was actually just fine. The content of it, I think, was all right, but I'm still concerned he's going to continue to bring up 2020 and election results and all of that. And if that's the messaging that continues to win for him, if that's what he leads with, then it's a losing game for him.
It doesn't start off strong if he goes that route, and he's likely to do that because even in recent days, he has cited the 2020 election. Let's go to Ron DeSantis because he's now, I guess, in this snapshot of time, he's kind of the front runner, I would say, in a GOP primary against Trump. There's a poll that shows that to be the case. That's a big switch from before the midterms. A lot obviously can change, and I'm sure the media is not going to look at the Florida governor in a positive light in time as time moves forward. But is DeSantis, is he a major barrier, do you think, to a Donald Trump victory?
Oh, I think he is. I think he is because he can always tout how he contradicted the whole country during COVID, kept Florida going, kept kids in school. He has his own record that has nothing to do with Donald Trump. So that really is in the win column for DeSantis v. Trump. Whereas there are other Republican candidates out there that are in office now that have to give some of their political clout or standing to Trump backing from the past. DeSantis, they've gone back and forth, been in agreement, not been in agreement. But, how we looked at the hurricane involvement, what just happened to Florida, his state. I mean, there's such great sympathy for the state of Florida right now. And he really made the right moves throughout a lot of the very recent history of Florida. And then even in the midst of his campaign, he was out on the campaign trail campaigning for other Republicans. So he's done a lot of things that are good. He's, I think, in an age bracket that a lot of America can buy in that he's got experience. He's not too young. He's not too old. And I mean, I've been in Florida a few different times this year. People love him there. So if he can carry out some of that good messaging to the rest of the country or start in the states that he feels would be DeSantis friendly, he's got a really viable presidential campaign. And to me, he's the one to beat, not Trump.
Right. That's what it seems like to a lot of people as well. All right. We appreciate your perspective as always. And for joining us, this is such a strange time. We're already talking about 2024. All the votes aren't even counted yet for 2022. Roshini Rajkumar, political strategist and host of the Crisis Files podcast. Roshini, thanks so much. Appreciate it.
Thank you, guys.